Hey everybody, JSquared John Jeremy here, and I thought I'd do this vlog while playing a game that I've been putting a little bit of time into, 7 Days to Die. If you recall, there was actually a question in last week's Q&A video that discussed 7 Days to Die, and recently there was a new alpha released, Alpha 17, and the latest patch has just been released, so that's 17.1, and I've been, trying my hand at it for a little bit. There's also a multiplayer live stream that goes on every now and again on SKS's Plays channel, so you can go ahead and check that out over on Twitch that I'm a part of. But right now, this is kind of my own world here, just kind of a test bed area where we're just going out to explore, and this is on the main map here, which is called, I forget, Navasganya or something like that. So it's not a random map. I'm just trying to learn my ways around this new alpha here, and I thought I'd take the time to kind of talk a bit about something that, historically, when it comes to the channel, people who may be new don't really know much about me or about the history of this channel. So I know that Aaron VH, one of our members, one of our recent members, asked the question in a previous vlog, well, what's the history? What's the background behind JSquared John Jeremy? So I thought I'd take today's vlog to kind of discuss that a little bit. So for those of you who have been here since the beginning, first off, thank you. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all of this. I know that I'm not the most prevalent, nor am I the most consistent when it comes to making these videos, but I do have fun with them, and I do enjoy making them, absolutely. So I thought that I'd start off with that. Now, I started making these videos just under 8 years ago now. And our very first full series was a video series on Silent Hunter 5. Now, remember, this is back in 2011. There weren't that many Let's Play series around. Very few, in fact. It's not like everyone at that time had access to the streaming technologies that we have today. Apparently my character is already hungry. And I don't have any food. That's a bit of a problem. Hopefully I made some food that I have downstairs. So 2011, I didn't come up with this idea on my own, absolutely not. So I had been watching, I wasn't really a very big YouTuber at the very beginning. I didn't really watch it too much. It wasn't until I was out of high school, out of classes that, I had some spare time on my hands. So I would watch some YouTube content every now and again. And I think it was back in 2009, 2010, that period, when I found a few, Let's Players of that era that I enjoyed watching. Jeff Major comes to mind. He did a couple of great series on The Guild 2, I recall, the movies I enjoyed. Silent Storm was great, and IL-2 Sturmovik were the ones that I kind of remember off the top of my head. And then there was another Let's Player at the time who was also kind of part of the same group. So Jeff Major, Grimmeth, R, and a few others, Mysterious JG. They were part of a group called the Voltron Army, and this group was a group of Let's Player hobbyists that enjoyed the content that was being produced at the time, primarily from Jeff and from My Name Is Not Lily and Grimmeth, and this is almost like a hub of content before it was all commercialized by the people, the MCNs like Machinima and all of them. So I found that hub. I found that place, and you know, I was a member of the forums there. I enjoyed watching the content. I had a blast, just kind of learning the craft, as it were. Didn't really learn the craft so much as just tried to copy it. So there came a point where, you know, after watching the videos for so long, I thought to myself, I think I can do this. I think I can give this a shot. And in fact, you know, fun fact, I guess, the Silent Hunter series was not the first attempt I had made at producing content for the JSquared John Jeremy channel. In fact, the first attempt happened in, I think it was October or November of the previous year, and I did a 4 or 5 episode series using Mountain Blade Warband. If I recall, the original Mountain Blade series I also enjoyed from Jeff Major. I thought, hey, let me try to play Warband for my first series. And my computer was absolute trash at that time. And I didn't understand the power, even then, that you kind of need to have in order to, you know, render and record and all that sort of stuff. So it looked like trash. Frame rates were terrible and all that. So to this day, I regret doing it, but I did erase those videos. I deleted them entirely. And, you know, I built up, you know, enough funds to get an updated computer, and came back again, you know, in February of that next year, and that's when we did Silent Hunter. And truthfully, I had never played, you know, Silent Hunter. It sounded like a cool game, you know, submarine simulation and all that. That sounded cool, and that's what we did. We started playing that game. And people seemed to like it. They seemed to watch. And it was, again, prior to the commercialization of all this, there weren't that many English viewings and videos of a game like Silent Hunter. It was mostly a German-specific audience, you know? So getting to be one of the first to do that series, you know, Silent Hunter 5, kind of made the channel noticed, and it just kind of grew from there. Now, it wasn't making any money. Money didn't come into play until years later, but it was something that I enjoyed doing. Definitely enjoyed, you know, taking the time to just, you know, create the content and interact with people. There were lessons that I learned right away, to this day, like this sort of thing right here that I'm doing. Nowadays, I'd cut this out of like a primary video, because you don't need to see me whack, you know, leaves for 30 minutes straight. But back in the Silent Hunter days, I was adamant that, you know, we were going to watch everything in real time. And I think if I look back on it, it took us about 5 or 6 episodes to even get out of the German-controlled port and out into open waters. 6 episodes. That's 6 episodes at 15 minutes apiece. So it wasn't necessarily the smartest move on my part, but, you know, like I said, back then I was adamant I was going to do it my way, and, you know, consequences be damned and all that. And here we are, almost 8 years later. And we're still kicking, you know. Obviously, there's opportunity when it comes to this channel. I still enjoy doing what I do, absolutely. Hopefully I can I cook this? No, I can't cook this. Can I cook eggs? I can eat that can of sham, I know that. Let's eat that. Maybe I can cook this potato. You know, there's opportunity here, obviously, but I do think that, oh, I don't have the recipe for that, so I can't cook that. Can I cook eggs? No, I need water to cook the eggs. And I need the tools, which is a cooking pot. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of like the start of the channel concept, I guess. The name, JSquared John Jeremy, was a nickname that I got back in 2009, 2008, 2009, I want to say. This was back when I used to work for a little-known company called GameStop, way back in the day. And every year, GameStop would send its managers over to Las Vegas. And I came out, you know, this is a very young JSquared. I came out with this white shirt, white jean setup, with the snazziest shoes I could find, and immediately one of my fellow coworkers said, you know, JSquared, John Jeremy, right here, and it clicked. It's stuck in a way that you know, to this day, I use the name, obviously, and I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the moniker, truthfully. No, it's not my real name for the... I'm sure at this point people understand that, but, you know, it's not. John is my name. But, yeah. I mean, I wish I could take credit for a name like that. But no, it wasn't even, you know, it wasn't even something that I came up with. A friend of mine did, and, you know, I'll give him credit, you know, to this day for it. So yeah, when I decided to use that name for the channel, obviously, connotation be damned. Here we are today, 8 years later, still using the name, and I think it works. I think it absolutely works. I think it's got a nice ring to it, and it's definitely something that I have kind of, you know, wrapped my arms around and made my own. Of course, the nomenclature, JSquared John Jeremy, meaning the two J's, J squared. There's also J2 John Jeremy, which, you know, I'll answer to either one, you know, as it's spoken. I think they both work either way. I don't think I did the 2 as a superscript because I didn't know how to do it at the time. And that's the only reason why it wasn't actually a squared 2, but rather a regular one. But, you know, looking back on it, with search engine optimization and all that, it wouldn't have gone well for us anyway. I am in need of food and water here. I've got murky water, but I can't make that into regular water. I do have some bottled water. I will drink that. Oh, hey, I can make boiled eggs. Good. Oh, actually, I can't make boiled eggs not until I find a cooking pot. Shoot. Maybe I can go to that trader and find some scrap, or find something to sell to get me a cooking pot. We can try that. Okay. Because I need a cooking pot to cook this water in to make it fresh, so I can drink it. Because you don't want to drink murky water when playing 7 Days to Die. Things don't go well. Things don't go well at all. Lots of dysentery. So yeah. So we started with Silent Hunter 5 on this channel 8 years ago. Did Settlers. Did Over the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness. I enjoyed that game. And then it really took off when we did our first Crusader Kings 2 and Star Trek Online series. And that was, I want to say, around May of that year. May of 2011 is when we started doing that. And it just, you know, it grew from there. So I've always enjoyed playing, you know, Crusader Kings 2 to this day. Like I said, I am a fanatic when it comes to that game. I can't break those. It's for the trader. But even did I just What just... What? What just happened there? What? Alright. The game teleported me. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Cool. Good to know. Can't destroy those. Can't destroy those though. What was I saying? Yes. So Crusader Kings 2 and Star Trek Online, those were our first major hits. And it just kind of grew from there. Obviously, the pitfalls of doing a channel, a gaming channel on YouTube nowadays is the fact that it always needs to be on. There always needs to be new content, fresh content, and I understand that. I understand the need for fresh content and new eyeballs and people wanting to watch videos and, you know, all that sort of jazz. And a very long time ago, I had to make a choice. Was I going to commit to a full career at my present job, or was I gonna try and do something crazy like, you know, work on YouTube? And I chose my career, and I don't regret it. I enjoy what I do on YouTube, but if it never becomes a full-time career, I would understand, you know, out of it, because I enjoy what I do on both sides of the equation. I wouldn't want to give up one for the other. But in the case of a channel like this, and the YouTube of today is far different than the YouTube of 8 years ago, absolutely. far different than the YouTube of 8 years ago. I remember way back in the day when you know, you didn't have to, let's say, worry so much about, you know, what advertisers thought, what the algorithm thought, and it was just like, I don't want to say like the Wild West, but there was definitely a sense of like independent.
Trader Joel's is now open.
That scared the hell out of me. A sense of independence, of independency from the, I guess, what was considered the standard of the time, like broadcast television, for example. The fact that you had all these massive conglomerates deciding what was entertainment and when was it going to be released, and deciding to build your content around focus groups and all of that. And obviously that wasn't the case for YouTube back in the day. And you can make the argument that it absolutely is now. That it is, you know, it has become that, and, you know, that sense of independence has been lost. You can absolutely argue that, and I think you wouldn't be wrong in that. Now, does that make it better or worse? I don't know. I mean, I still can do the content that I want to do, and apparently I'm really starving and I really need to find food. So let's go ahead and prepare that. I'm gonna finish this, whacking this thing here. I'm down to 27% food. Like, you can definitely argue that the sense of camaraderie and independence has been lost here on YouTube. But I'm still here, doing the content that I want to do. And, you know, if people watch it, that's great. If people don't watch it, that's okay too. You know? I don't really...
Something bothering you?
Yeah, I'm trying to get some food here, and I can't seem to find anything. Oh, there's charred meat and bacon and eggs, and that requires money. Money I don't have. Can I sell things to you? Would you like to buy some coal? No. Any of these things, maybe. You'll buy a glass jar. You'll buy eggs. You'll buy feathers. You'll buy this iron fire axe. How much would you summon for the iron fire axe? 13. And for 13, I can get nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's a problem, isn't it? Alright, we're gonna have
Thank
to...
God you're done browsing. Next time I'll charge you for that.
We're gonna have to try and survive on berries for the time being, because we need to get some food here. Yes, so obviously YouTube has changed. That's the facts. And it's my job to figure out, I guess, how do I make a play in the YouTube of today versus the YouTube of yesteryear. And that's something that I continue to kind of consider and take a look at. But I think we'll be fine, you know. And if I never receive the attention that I got in years past, that's okay too. I'll continue to work hard. And for those that are watching right now, I'll continue to make content for you. And I just... Okay, good. I didn't get sick. And I hope you'll continue to enjoy it. There's still going to be plenty of content down the pipe. I've got both Bomber Crew and Crusader Kings 2 lined up for some time, which is great. And then, you know, more content down the line that I want to get to as well. I was taking a look earlier at, you know, Total War 3 Kingdoms, I think, is a great opportunity for a series. There were others as well that I don't want to spoil just yet. But yeah, there's definitely opportunities for more series to come. And I think it's just a matter of figuring out when is the best time and what works best for my schedule, because as I mentioned before, you know, I'm still running a full-time career while doing this. You know, it's not like I can just stop doing one and do the other. So I hope you'll bear with me as we, you know, continue to progress in the, I don't want to say rebirth of the channel, but it's revitalization, you know, it's resuscitation, as it were. You know, we've been putting out content every day now since the beginning of January, so we're almost coming up on the full month straight of content every single day. You know, I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you continue to enjoy it. And by all means, if you have suggestions as far as new content to be produced, new games that you may want to see tried out on the channel, you're more than welcome to post them in the comments of today's video. I'd love to hear about new ideas and new games that you may want to see played that you feel would be a good fit for the channel. So make those suggestions in the comments of the video, and I will read through them and try and see what I can do. You know, absolutely. And that's really all I had for today's vlog. I kind of wanted to give a background, you know, a little bit of history. You know, 8 years now, just about, and I'm still here. I'm still here, alive and kicking, and producing content. You can't say the same for many others. So hopefully, there's, you know, we have that continuing to go for us moving forward. But until next time, this is JSquared John Jeremy signing out, saying so long and take care.